Iran hasn't just fought a war. It has redrawn the entire map of global power. Friends, this is about far more than just war. The real question now is about Iran's strategy, a strategy that has embedded itself deep inside American politics, inside the U.S. Congress, inside Pentagon reports, CIA intelligence briefings, and NATO relations. One name keeps surfacing everywhere: Iran. This has become a defining issue because during the ceasefire period, Congress has convened 4 times, and each time, the sole topic was Iran. Each time, the Trump administration's message was essentially this: what past presidents couldn't accomplish in 47 years regarding Iran, America under Trump will now deliver. Beyond that, the conversation went nowhere. When the Pentagon's role came up, the Trump administration kept insisting on the need for weapons and budgets. Democrats, on the other hand, kept asking, "Do you even have an exit plan for Iran?" Congress has met 6 times. Senators communicated with the Pentagon over a dozen times. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was present in those sessions, and the only subject discussed was Iran. 3 major CIA intelligence reports were prepared, all 3 directly connected to Iran. 3 major threads emerged from this period. First, is Iran's strategy driving the growing distance between the U.S. and NATO? Iran has been drawing closer to China and Russia. Strategically, deliberately, Russia is still fighting Ukraine, but America essentially gave Russia a pass. Sanctions were lifted, oil exports were permitted, and Russia's economy got back on track. Meanwhile, NATO countries were stuck with their own crisis: Ukraine and Russia's war. Iran is not their war. So the question became, did Iran deliberately engineer this alignment, pulling Russia strategically into its orbit? Iran's foreign minister recently visited Russia, and Putin sat with him for hours. What emerged from those meetings was a new geopolitical realignment taking shape in West Asia. Second, Iran's impact on Trump administration decisions. Whether it was decisions about NATO nations, selling arms to Middle Eastern countries, or managing relationships in Asia, Pakistan was mediating, Turkey and Egypt were in conversations. Everyone was being lined up. Why? Because Iran stood on the other side. In total, around 22 meetings, 22 communications, 22 reports from Congress, the Pentagon, CIA, and the White House, all centered on one subject: Iran. And whether the ceasefire is real or just war by another name remains something nobody can answer right now. Perhaps Iran has so deeply penetrated the American administration's consciousness that conversations are now happening which haven't occurred since World War II. And the most dramatic of these involves Germany, Germany's historic military awakening. This is not a trivial development in international geopolitics. Since World War II, Germany was prohibited from building its own military. American troops, around 36,000 active, 15,000 in reserve, and 11,500 civilian personnel, have been America's standing presence there. Germany essentially had no army of its own. That changed. For the first time, Germany's chancellor declared, "By 2039, we will have a full-fledged military, the largest in all of Europe." Germany has already begun increasing its defense budget from 2027. Air defense, long-range weapons, drones, AI-driven technology, all of it is now on the table. Trump, meanwhile, announced the withdrawal of 5,000 American troops from Germany. This is a seismic shift, the kind nobody imagined possible after World War II. Why did this happen? Because Iran, through this war, forced NATO countries to confront a brutal truth. If America couldn't protect its own military bases in the Middle East, how would it protect Europe? CNN broadcast the visuals. Congress was alarmed. 11 American military bases in the Middle East were completely destroyed. U.S. embassies were demolished. Infrastructure, pipelines, ports, energy centers, hotels in allied nations, all devastated. And yet, America couldn't defend them. This sent a clear message to European nations. American military presence doesn't guarantee your safety. Iran's Revolutionary Guard sent 3 messages to the world. 1. If American troops couldn't defend their own Middle Eastern bases, how will they defend Europe? 2. The Revolutionary Guard's strategic closeness to Russia, even while Russia fights Ukraine and America lifted its sanctions, exposed the contradiction at the heart of NATO's existence. NATO countries stand with Ukraine because they fear Russia at their doorstep, but America abandoned them. It refused emergency aid to Ukraine-bordering countries. 3. The $8.6 billion emergency arms sale by America to Israel Qatar, UAE, Kuwait, Patriots, advanced laser-guided rocket systems, aerial defense systems, bypassed Congress entirely, without standard review. The message from Iran's Revolutionary Guard: America isn't providing security, it's doing business through war. The nuclear question: America's own Senate asked it. This also has a cost to us, the taxpayers. What is the cost of having nuclear weapons? Three stark questions emerged for the Pentagon. Should it receive more funding or not? If weapons production increases, who will buy them? And if Middle Eastern countries eventually say no, then what? The investments Middle Eastern nations had in America, the ties between NATO countries and America, all of it is now shaking. Iran's domestic mobilization. Iran is operating on three levels simultaneously. Domestically, it called for 100,000 new military recruits, and 10 to 12 million people signed up. Every Friday, massive rallies fill Tehran in support of the state and military. This message is lethal for America and Israel, who are betting on regime change. The currency war. Strategically, Iran, Russia, and China are aligning on the question of currency. The yuan, the rial, crypto, Russia endorses it, China has already moved toward it, the Middle East is deciding. Countries are saying, we will no longer transact in dollars. Iran has also taken strategic control of global energy through Hormuz. OPEC's 7 nations plan to produce 180 barrels daily, but Hormuz is blockaded. You can't build new shipping routes overnight. The final defining question. The White House never imagined this scenario. The Pentagon had warned about it. The CIA flagged it. If you go to war, you need an exit route, and you don't have one. So here is the ultimate question of this era. Can America remain a superpower by standing alone, or will it lose its dominance? The military presence, the trade supremacy, the financial empire. And if the dollar's global role is broken, how does it remain a superpower? A new world is taking shape, and at its center is not Russia, not China, not Europe. At its center is Iran. Thank you very much. Thank you.